Yeah, just one small detail here.
Please.
It's interesting, but it's sad. Portugal is probably the most hot country in Europe, and it's the country that has in winter in every country you have an excess of mortality because of the cold. And in average in Europe, the countries face 15% of excess mortality in the winter. In Portugal, we have 28%. So we are the country in Europe where mortality raises more in the winter, and it happens because people suffer from cold inside their homes. So we are the hottest, but we suffer a lot from energy poverty. But from the beginning, how did I start it? I was on the first year of college, an 18-year-old kid, and decided to go with a friend to the street to play guitar. We haven't done it. It was to feel the experience of being a street artist. So we went, and we stood there for 2 or 3 hours playing, and we gathered around 60 or 70 euros. For the people who are passing by and leaving the coins. And at the end we were thinking, what are we going to do with the money? Our first idea was, let's spend it all in beers. Let's have dinner. We have 30 euros each to spend in beer, so it's going to be a good night. In Portugal, a beer costs €1, so we were facing like 30 beers for each one. But we saw, we looked around and we saw homeless in the street, and we decided to invite them to have dinner with us with that money. And we decided that we should repeat it. So we went again and again, and many times. And suddenly we are starting having our family and our friends to come with us to the street to play guitar or to sing or to address the people passing by. At some point we were 30 people in the street, ones playing or others addressing the people passing by. And we were having this idea to collect just changes of the people who are passing to make just a change in someone's life. And in that moment we founded Just a Change with this double meaning, to collect just a change, to make just a change. And when we founded the project, we realized that there were a lot of good projects addressing the homelessness and making a good answer for that. So we decided to stop and look for a problem that needed an answer. We visit ghettos, we talked with a lot of institutions, we talked with a lot of people, and we found this poverty, this housing poverty, so people living inside their homes without electricity or water, but also with raining roofs, with rats, with cockroaches, and it's all a hidden poverty spread all over the country that no one's care because it's not seen. So there was no answer. So we decided to start. And our mission began to restore the homes of needed families, gathering volunteers and,
How many
and
volunteers
mobilizing the community.
are helping you now?
This year, 2018, we had around 2,000 volunteers in Portugal.
How did you spread the word initially? Because you said you've been doing this for 3 years now.
Yeah, when you asked me for the renovation, I told you 3 years because 90%, 95% of our work was done in the last 3 years because we started working on a full-time basis. But the project, in truth, exists since 2010. And on the first 5 years, we were at the university and making this as a hobby in our free time.
And you're trying to make whole acquisitions so that you get better prices. You try to gather more projects at once. You convince other volunteers to join you. What's your technique, just in a few words, in order to make others follow you? Because, okay, you had this wonderful idea, but I think it's, okay, you have a network of friends, you have a network of extended friends, and then maybe 100 people, 180, 200 people. But when you speak about 2,000, 3,000, maybe more volunteers that are helping you, it's quite a good technique that you put in place there.
Yeah, we've gathered more than 4,000 volunteers at the total.
Amazing.
I think we are lucky because our mission, our work is sexy. I think everyone feels good when they go to a house which is terrible and spending there working and helping with the construction work. And at the end, you see a new place.
That's a very interesting way of describing sexiness, but I can feel you. Yeah, it's totally
but I mean,
correct.
it's everyone. Everyone in the world wants to feel that it's useful for the other and that can help another person. And this kind of poorness is very easy to understand because we all know that our home is in our hearts. We need our home. IKEA says our home is the most important place in the world. It's where everything starts. So we know that if our house wouldn't be a place comfortable, where I feel good, where I feel safe, where I feel happy, my life would be terrible. So for a volunteer, it's a life-changing experience when you change a house of a person, because you can see with your eyes that you are changing his life also. So we are good in making this possible and spreading the word and making possible for thousands of volunteers in Portugal and hundreds in every country, because we have volunteers from all over the world, to experience this change for themselves. I think my most difficult time was also the time that taught me why not to quit. So I started the project when I was at the first year of college, and 5 years later, when I was finishing, I didn't accept any job offer and start working on a full-time basis on the project, but without knowing if it's gonna have any result. We were very small, and I was very naive. I thought that every day was gonna be sunshine and butterflies and flowers all over the place, because I was doing one thing that was helping others, and I was thinking that it would fulfill my heart with that. But then I realized that helping is not so fulfilled in most of the cases. It's easy to help someone when you judge and you think for yourself, and it is wrong, but you do it. Okay, this person is miserable enough for me to help it. And it's easy to help when you know for sure before that your help is going to have a result. But this doesn't happen. I think most of the time we are not the ones who need to judge if this or that person needs or deserves or are poor enough to be helped by us, and if our work is going to have results. So most of the time you're not sure if that help you're doing is worth it. And to make it worse, people do not thank you. So you don't have anything telling you that you are having results. But that moment, so this was difficult, and I was the only one working at the full time, so I didn't have anyone to share this frustration, because I wasn't happy working. I had days that and I think we all have, that I didn't feel like I want to wake up and go work. I didn't want, and I was expecting that. But that was the time also that taught me that I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing this for helping others, even if I'm not sure if it's going to have results, or even if they are not thanking, or they are not even thankful of that. I'm here to help I'm here to try to change lives, and this is the purpose, not feeling good about it. So when I don't feel good about it, I feel that maybe I'm on the right track because I'm not focused on that.